Hey guys, it's me, Takani, and my die has little dice in it. Today we are going to be looking at terrible Facebook memes. I haven't been on Facebook in forever, and I really want to catch up on what kind of memes they're sharing over there. I know it's gotta be some good stuff, so naturally, where do I go? Reddit. Let's go to Reddit to look at some Facebook memes instead of using Facebook. So we're starting off strong with this meme that says, "This is the future the left wants." And then on the left is a Hooters girl wearing a shirt that says Tomboy Hooters, presuming like the main thing being like she's not showing her cleavage, and she's also wearing what appears to be like boxers or something under her short shorts. And then on the right it says Femboy, and they're in a Hooters shirt, and I really don't see what the issue is because as if both these characters aren't adorably drawn, first of all, and second of all, like, I don't really be going to Hooters. I went to Hooters one time, and I'll be honest with you guys, the food was awful, and they forgot my pepper jack cheese on my buffalo chicken sandwich, and this was years ago, and I still remember. But even getting it was just not good and really awkward. I don't really understand the appeal of going to Hooters, but I guess if the employees are getting paid what they deserve to be getting paid and they're happy working there, I'm not really gonna start any fights. But yeah, I think this meme is kind of like alluding to like, oh, you're gonna have femboys serving you at Hooters and the girls aren't gonna be girls, they're tomboy girls. But like, I don't know, it's just kind of really weird to me. Like, why is this an issue? I guess I'm not really picking up what they're trying to put down, because all I'm thinking is like, okay, but Hooters food sucks. That's the only thing that's really popping in my head. It's a meme of a guy drinking coffee and his wife's doing the dishes, and the guy says, "I'm in love with another woman, let's get a divorce." And then the next panel is the woman saying, "I've been waiting for this conversation, I'll give you a divorce. But this situation will be stressful for our son. That's why I have one condition. Let's wait a month. I'll prepare him. And during this month, I want you to carry me in your arms out of the bedroom every day." And he says, "Okay, but only because of our son. You know I don't love you anymore." Like, that's a thing to say. Before we continue on to day one, first off, there's like this meme where it's like, oh, carry me in the house every day for like a month, and then like at the end, like, she dies because she had cancer and didn't tell anybody and whatever. But like also like the fact that he had to be like, oh, well, just so you know, I don't love you anymore, but I'll still do it for our son. It's just so, like, awkward. It's so awkward that someone literally drew this out, too. Like, could you imagine just being like, yeah, I'll pretend to love you, but I don't? Like, it's just so weird to me, but, what do I know? We have to get through it first. So day one, he carries her through the door. The little kid says, "Yay, dad is carrying mom in his arms." At day five, he carries her through the door, and I guess he's thinking about like their wedding and stuff. Day 30, and then she's looking in the mirror. She says, "I've lost a lot of weight." He's breaking up with his girl. He goes and picks up some roses, and he's asking for a card that says, "I'll carry you in my arms all my life." And then he comes home and his son is sobbing, and he's like, "Dad, mommy is..." And she's just dead on the bed. And then it says, "My dearest husband, I'm sorry to leave you this way. However, I am a pot drug addict. The doctor told me I had 30 days to live. Thank you for making my last days memorable. Your wife, Susan." Wait, hold on. What? Jesus hates the pot. Okay, it's a pot leaf with an X on it, and then it has some text over it says, "Jesus hates the pot." And so, because this lady is a pot drug addict, she only had 30 days to live. Now, okay, hold on a minute. Can you even die from smoking marijuana? I'm sure you can smoke way too much. Has there been any deaths from smoking marijuana? Well, according to the DEA.gov, it says that there have been no deaths from overdose of marijuana have been reported, although there have been an increasing number of emergency room visits involving marijuana edibles, and to which I wonder how many of those are actually just because someone thought they were dying because they took too much weed. It increases your heart rate, it makes you dizzy, nausea. According to the DEA, nobody's ever actually died from marijuana. So the meme says, "This is the future leftist wants for our homes." And then it's a picture of a floor plan. So you have the walk-in area where you walk through the weed smoking patio. And then to your right as you walk in is the estrogen lab. And then to the left is the boy wife kitchen. Okay. And for some reason, the closet in the boy wife kitchen is for abortions. Maybe that's where they keep their plan B. Then you go to the bedroom and it says sex before marriage lounge. And then a small closet as the gay room where you keep your gays. And then the bathroom says trans bathroom, which what does that even mean? I don't understand what the, like, trans bathroom. Okay, I think the whole like ooh gendered bathrooms thing is like so dumb because honestly, most people are just going into the bathroom to use a bathroom. If you're stressed about a trans woman just being a man pretending to be a trans woman, seems like you kind of have an issue with men because that would be a man pretending to be a woman. But a trans woman is someone who was just born with male genitalia but feels deep inside that they're a woman. And who are we to judge like someone what someone else is feeling or how they perceive themselves or how they express themselves? I mean, there are people getting nose jobs and boob jobs because they can just imagine themselves with bigger boobs or a changed nose or whatever it is, or smaller boobs or whatever it is, and that's okay. But God forbid you want to change like your genital to match what you feel is your genitals if you want to. I mean, you don't even have to change that to be transgendered, I believe. Which I don't know. I'm not transgender, so I don't know much about being transgender. So I was fortunately born in the right body because I feel like a woman. I am a woman, and I don't really understand what it's like to be born in the wrong body, but that doesn't mean we can't recognize it and be supportive of people that are changing to how they feel on the inside and to themselves. I really feel like it shouldn't be like this much of a judgment thing. I don't understand why people are so focused on that. So the weed smoking patio, I smoke on my patio all the time. I'm one of them weed heads, you know? I don't really understand the estrogen lab section. It's a hormone that's responsible for many functions in the body, helping to develop and maintain your reproductive system, like characteristics like breast and pubic hair. It's a hormone that is secreted by your ovaries. It regulates your menstrual cycle, which it's kind of interesting to me because it's not uncommon for women to have issues with estrogen. Oh, right here. Okay, so your levels of estrogen rise as you hit puberty. Then each month, as your estrogen levels surge, your uterine lining preps for fertilization. When those level drops, menstruation begins. As you age, your estrogen levels begin decreasing, leading to menopause, which marks the end of the reproductive years. It's a normal aging process. Estrogen also helps keep your heart tissue healthy. It keeps your blood pressure stable. What they're trying to do is prolong the reproductive years on women assigned female at birth and help trans women feel more comfortable in their bodies and give them estrogen and stuff. The gay room, is it like gay as in happy, or do they mean like gay as in queer? And if it is a queer room, is it like someone standing in there to give you advice on your outfits? Is it like you enter that room and you become queer? Is it like what is the purpose of the gay room? And the sex before marriage lounge, I kind of think it's funny because like instead of having a bedroom, it's called a lounge apparently. And that's where you guys have your intercourse before marriage. But what if you don't get married? Then is it still sex before marriage if there was never marriage? And this trans bathroom situation, is it a bathroom that actually was a closet before, so now it's a trans bathroom instead of being a closet? Like, what? Also, that bathroom is really small, and I would know. I have a small bathroom in my hallway. So, that bathroom looks really small, but not as small as that kitchen. And I don't know how that kitchen would even have a double sink if it was that small. And there's not even a window over the sink. And the boy-wife kitchen thing, why is it boy-wife and not husband-wife or spouse kitchen? This is gonna be shocking, but My husband does all of the cooking. I know, not very womanly of me, but it'd be like that sometimes. Okay, so this meme says after spending $160 on a dinner, $50 on flowers, and $20 on chocolates, she tells me she has a headache. What it's trying to say is that she owes him something because he took her out to dinner and bought her flowers and chocolates and stuff. Which the idea of that is insane because are you not doing that because you love someone and you want to do that for them? Or are you doing that because you want what you expect to get in return? And I think that's kind of an issue and should be worked on because I'm sorry, sometimes it's just one of those days where like you don't want to have sex. And I really don't like that it's like him pulling the girl just like by the foot and just like taking her into some wood. Is this like an implication of like he's so upset he's just gonna get it done himself? I hope that this photo isn't really like about that, obviously. Like I'm sure this is just like a photo gag between like two people. But like the meme is basically implying, in my unprofessional opinion, it's implying that you just take it. And I don't think that's really an okay meme to share. It's kind of on par with the uncomfortableness of just beat your wife when she's getting too loud. Even if she does have a headache, okay, maybe she had a headache all day. Maybe chocolate gives her a headache. Maybe the dinner was really loud. Like, who cares? Like, I'm sorry that you didn't get the happy ending that you wanted, but like, God made men with hands for reasons. Go do your own thing somewhere else. It's okay. It's okay to not have intercourse with a woman that doesn't want to have sex with you. Like, it's really not that hard. Like, just don't have sex with people that don't want to have sex with you. And if nobody wants to have sex with you, maybe take a moment to reflect. No one needs sex to survive. It's just a thing. And especially with like more people getting on antidepressants, and one of the things antidepressants commonly cause, lack of libido and like, lowers your sexual drive and stuff like that. So maybe she's on an antidepressant. Sorry that you're out what, let's see, let's do the math on this. That's 210. Sorry you're out $230, Maybe you shouldn't spend that much if like you're just trying to get some poo-tang. What would be cool is if we legalize sex work and then people that are doing that go to people that are selling it and then they pay them, and those people that are selling it are in a safe place and they want to provide those services and they're getting paid and they're not getting shamed, and you can go there and get that from them. But unfortunately, men hate women, so not all men, but a lot of men hate women, so unfortunately, men will be out here just not wanting women to thrive. God forbid someone make adult content. God forbid someone post something slutty on their Instagram. God forbid someone wear something sexy out in public because she's just asking for it. Doesn't make sense to me. Like, let's respect people's consent, Like, why is that not like the main thing that someone wants? Why wouldn't you want consent from your partner? All right, this one says, my Aunt Becky sent me this. Reality 100 years ago. Democrat, 9. Republican, 6. Reality today. Democrat, let's bomb the Middle East. Republican, 4. I do kind of like the beginning part of this meme actually with the Democrat Republican, how like they're looking at a 9 or a 6, but I like that they're looking on each side of the number and seeing a different number, and like it's to imply that they're like arguing over the same thing, but they're just seeing it from two different perspectives. Whereas the reality today is they're looking at the same thing, and all the Democrats apparently care about is bombing the Middle East, and all the Republicans apparently care about is calling it a 4. Just misinformation, I guess. To which I will say, as someone who is, well, I don't like putting a label on myself because I wouldn't call myself liberal, but I'm definitely not conservative. If I had to label myself one, I guess I would call myself a liberal. All parties kind of suck, and I don't think really anybody should be focusing too much on the label. I mean, I really think everybody should be focusing on the fact that we should better our countries by, like, America, I don't know, providing free public health care or free school lunches to children that need them instead of relying on fundraisers. And those fundraisers being scams and just child labor in disguise where a bunch of children feel inadequate and have to work just to have an education. So, which if you're interested, right up there. The video's right up there. Hopefully. If it's not, it's probably in the description at least. I kind of agree with the point, I guess, that this meme is trying to make, which is like we're looking at the same number from different sides, and while we have our different perspectives, we're still focused on the wrong thing. I don't necessarily agree with the little like word bubbles of what they're saying, but if you take that out of the picture, I do think like, yeah, that is kind of like an interesting thought, and that's why like for example, there's this site called Ground News. Okay, so like something that Ground News does is it has like this it'll tell you what the right side is saying, what the left side is saying, what the center is saying, and then it has a bias comparison. So if we look at like this one, it says DC Mayor Bowser, Trump police takeover, unsettling and unprecedented. And then the bias comparison reads, left-leaning outlets frame the federal takeover of DC's police as an alarming, unprecedented power grab, and highlighting concerns about an assault on local home rule, civil rights, and militarization. Whereas right outlets adopt affirming language such as justified and positive steps. Notably, both sides acknowledge the deployment of roughly 450 federal officers and recognize Mayor Bowser's opposition, but the right largely downplays local concerns and legal authority debates that the left underscores, revealing broader ideological divides over governance, public safety, and civil liberties. It says right-leaning coverage applauds the intervention of a legal and legitimate critical stopgap, addressing rising crime and police understaffing, endorsing federalization and portraying it as necessary liberation day. The pivotal dividing line lies in the interpretation of crime trends. Centrists and left sources stress a historical 30-year drop, and then as you can see here, it basically gives little cliff notes of like what was said in the articles, or of course you could just read the articles. I really like the fact that I could choose like high factuality, because sometimes it's hard to determine which sources are real sources and what aren't. There are so many that pose as like legitimate sources and they're just not. And I just think it's interesting how like the left is like, hey, this is a power grab. What about our rights? What about our local home rules? What about stopping the military from coming in? Isn't that one of our commandments? And then the right's like, oh, this is completely justified. It's gonna cause safety in the public, and they're not doing anything bad. And I just think that the comparison is interesting, and why I kind of like the top of this meme just for like what it represents. But yeah, like the bottom of the meme, it's kind of weird that it's like, oh, the Democrats are like, let's bomb the Middle East, and the Republicans are like for. I don't really understand why the Republicans are saying for. Times have definitely changed, and I think both sides are personally wrong. Let's bring back bartering like the Middle Ages. Did you know in the Middle Ages, bakers had to price their bread according to wheat prices? So they couldn't overcharge for their bread. They couldn't undercharge for their bread, because obviously they need to make money too. But it would stop them from overcharging. This says that the baker's dozen originated in medieval England as a safeguard against penalties for selling underweight bread. Bakers would add an extra loaf to a standard dozen to ensure they met the required weight and avoid fines and punishments for short weights. So, like, let's bring back that. Let's bring back laws regulating the sale of not only bread, but literally everything ever. Please. Like, healthcare in general should not be for profit. That is the most ridiculous thing ever. The fact that I have to stress about going to the doctor as someone who is like chronically ill with inflammatory bowel disease and a bunch of other issues, it really sucks. Like, because I do stress about going to the doctor, because if they need blood work, my insurance absolutely refuses to cover it because they don't think it's necessary for me to get blood work every couple years. Or if I get a medication or something, my doctor has to fight with my insurance just so they'll pay for it. You don't know what my medical issues are? How come some random intern gets to decide whether it gets covered or not? Like, it should get covered. If my doctor's saying I need certain medications, it should be. I think a good example is I was supposed to get my medication every 6 weeks, and my insurance literally said that I can get it every 8 weeks, but if I got it every 6, I would have to pay the $15,000+ every other infusion, which is ridiculous. So I had to be put on a medicine that kind of extended how long my medicine worked to be able to make it to the 8 weeks, which kind of sucks. But like when it's on that 7th week, I know when I'm due for my infusion because that 7th week I start getting sick again. And like it just progressively gets worse. And then I get my infusion and then I start getting better and then I'm good for a while and then it progressively gets worse. Like I wonder how much healthier I would be if I was actually able to get what my doctor wanted, which was every 6 weeks. But unfortunately, I can't afford that. So I can't do that. So I just think it's ridiculous to have like for-profit medical care system. I think it's ridiculous to have so much profit given on food goods. Like there are people literally starving because they can't afford food. There are people literally sleeping in the streets because they can't afford their rent anymore. Like this stuff is kind of like crazy to me. I could go on for this stuff forever, but I think maybe I'll just stop myself right here. But before you go, I did want to show you. Oh yeah, I wanted to show you my dice. Okay, look at it. First off, look at it. Okay. It's a little die. Isn't that cute? Okay. But it's got a ow. It's got it's got a little latch on it, and then it's filled with tiny die. Look at it. I dropped one. Look at him. Look at him. Tiny die. Isn't that crazy? Like, how cute is that? It's just got little dies. So I've always got a bunch of die on deck, you know, in my little necklace thing. So that's fun. And I've been working on some new needle felting stuff. So this guy, I don't really know what he's gonna end up being, but I'm thinking like some sort of like worm creature I think would be fun. My husband suggested maybe making him into like a little mermaid. I'm obviously not done. He definitely needs to still get needle felted, and I gotta needle felt his head too. Probably end up removing the button eyes and putting them back on later because I wasn't originally gonna needle felt all over him, but I really wanted to make him like a little something. So I have been needle felting all over him. And I also made this little face. Look at it. Look at it. He's got a little nose, got little button eyes. Like, so I've been really getting into needle felting lately, and it's just been so much fun. Like, look, I made this little guy. How cute is that? How great is that? Like, I did that by myself, just poking, and it's so exciting. But yeah, thank you for hanging out with me today. I do appreciate it so much. If you like the video, make sure you like the video. Sorry about my rambling, but I mean, that's what this channel is, right? Just Connie rambles about random stuff that, like, listen, alright? When I'm medicated for my ADHD again, maybe I'll stay on track more often. But until the healthcare system lets me do that, because, you gotta see the right doctors and stuff. Until then, it's what it is. But I think you'd be interested in this video right here if you want to go watch that one. It's pretty good. I liked it. I liked making it. Apparently it's one that you will really like. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me, and I will catch you later. Bye, guys.